Do it
Just a
live.
tailgate after all. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Arsenal Tailgate. I'm the Bearded Gooner, joined by, for the first time, making his debut with me, I've got Matt from AFC Red Room. Matt, how are you, man?
Very good, thank you. I've got beer ready. Arsenal's on soon. Couldn't be happier.
Awesome. Below him, Ryan from the Arse Bros, kind of my partner in crime, my co-defendant, if you will. What's up, man? Good to see you awake at this bright and early hour over here in the U.S. Crack it, baby. Let's go.
1:30.
Match day.
It's not that early.
Match day. Let's go, baby. Come on.
Let's do this.
And jumping right in at the sound of the gun, Big Gunner from Big Gunner TV. What's up, man? Glad you could make it.
Thanks for having me on, man. How's everyone doing today?
Yeah, man, we're good. Yeah, I don't know what you're drinking, but we're all. It is tea. A tailgate, so tea. As Ted Lasso calls it, that garbage, that brown garbage water. That's a conversation for a whole other time. That's a whole show talking about Ted Lasso. Ryan, you need to watch that, by the way, if you haven't yet. So,
No.
So let's dive into it. I haven't seen the lineups announced yet. Ryan, you swear on a stack of phone books that these things get announced 90 minutes before kickoff. I'm on the Benfica website right now.
Let's see. All right.
Nothing
Easy.
we'll keep our eyes peeled for that. So
Easy.
when the lineups do drop, we'll get into that. But right off the bat here, and I'm just going to throw the question out here to the panel. What does anybody know about Benfica? Because I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't know much. I know they're fourth in the league. In fact, I'll throw this little graphic up right now. They're fourth in the league in Portugal, 38 points or 13 points off the top. I really don't know much more about them other than that. I don't even know if did they qualify for Champions League and drop down, or did they qualify for Europa League like we did? Anyway,
they were in Europa.
Yeah, they were from Europe.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So, the Arsenal website has some stuff here. We've played them once. That was UEFA. It was 91, 92, I think.
I'd say a long time ago. I think it was just when I started supporting Arsenal, I think. It's going back a bit.
It's before. I mean, I don't remember this match. I certainly didn't watch it. You know, I don't remember it at all. I was maybe 13. We ended up losing at Highbury. I think they beat us at Highbury 3-0.
I think it's 4-2 on aggregate, I think.
Was it 4-2 on aggregate?
Yeah, we beat them at their ground and then they beat us at our ground.
Okay. Is that what it was? So they've won just 11 of their 36 matches against English clubs. And I got to be honest with you guys, none of that really matters, does it? I mean, all the old stuff, you know, that the club, that our club's website's going to throw out there. This doesn't mean anything much like their current form doesn't. I mean, all this stuff kind of goes out the window, doesn't it, Matt?
It does a bit, yeah. I think Europe, anything can happen. It's like any cup competition, isn't it, really? Anything can happen. I think we'll be up for this because this is our kind of one chance for a bit of success and a bit of glory this season. So I think we should throw everything at it, to be honest with you. I think, like I say, they've got a bit of an ageing back line by the looks of it. So, a bit of pace up front with Orba and possibly even Martinelli and Saka in there. We could frighten them a bit. So I think, we should take advantage of this first leg, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Big Gunner, what anything to add on Benfica, like Matt said, aging back line with Vertonghen and Nicolas Otamendi, not exactly the most fleet of foot, as it were. So
yeah, I mean, Benfica are known for having sort of young players that all the big teams come in and just sort of steal. I mean, I looked at a stat today that they've made £1 billion over here profit from selling their players, I think in the last 15 years or something like that. So they are known for bringing through young players, but I've seen their team recently and they've just got a bunch of players that are there to finish off their career after they couldn't finish in the Premiership, because obviously the standard in Portugal isn't as good as anywhere else. And there's only really 3 or 4 teams in Portugal that are fighting for the top every season. So we should win. It's a neutral stadium, so that it helps both teams, to be fair, being in a neutral stadium. So there's not really a home and away leg as such. But I think it should play into our hands, man. I think we should beat most of these teams that are left in there, apart from the English teams, because they're all above us at the moment, to be fair.
Yeah. Ryan, that's a good point that he makes. Just in terms of the home and away, the away goals being weighted. I mean, again, that stuff gets thrown out the window too because neither team is playing at home. There are no fans in the stadiums, so it really anything could really happen here because it's not. These aren't legitimate home and away matches, right?
I guess I don't really care. I don't expect. I don't expect it to come down to having to go to away goals. We should beat them handily. Again, I'm not overlooking them. I don't think they're a terrible team, but just based on who we have, and as long as we don't play Willian and Runnerson, I think we'll be okay. Yeah. That's really about it.
We should be okay, boy. It is kind of hard to talk about these games when you don't follow a team over there. You have no idea, really what to expect. So I'm just checking on lineups here. Still nothing on either site with Arsenal.
So I'm a little mad because I was like, positive,
now you're mad because you got it wrong.
Well, no, because what they did was at least last year in Europe, the last couple of years. What they would do is they would post like the squad that's traveling or the squad that they're going to have.
They usually give you
and then they would give you the entire squad of like 20 people, and then they would say match day squad will be announced 90 minutes before kickoff. It would say that on the top. Now I haven't seen them release like that squad that I'm telling you about because they usually tweet like a day before, 2 days before the game. They don't post. I checked. They didn't post it. So like now I'm like, well, I guess. I look like an idiot now because it's like, oh, they don't do that now. I'm like, oh, the line's not going to come out for an hour, so I don't really care though.
It should be out. It should be out in about a half hour, I would think. So,
it's usually an hour before kickoff now at the moment. So
that's what it is in the league anyway for us.
Yeah. Oh, the league. So, the league's an hour, but
whatever. So Matt, I want to come back to you. What? Not necessarily lineup wise, you can dive into it a little bit if you want to, but what are you expecting to see, tactic wise, personnel wise? What are you expecting from us today?
I'd expect us to go all out, to be honest with you. I think given our game against Leeds, I think we'll be looking to play similar style of football, quick, pacey, getting the ball forwards. I don't think too much will change from that. I think, we want to go out and attack and get the game under wraps, I think. So I'm expecting a fairly strong lineup, although we'll probably have a few people interchanging in certain places to rest a couple. Emil Smith-Rowe may swap out for Odegaard, for example, or Odegaard. And Pepe might get a start in this game because obviously he was rested last time out. But yeah, I expect us to go all out for this game, because the game with City on the weekend, although, you'd never say never, I think we'll be targeting this game out of the two of them, to be honest with you. So I expect that to reflect in how we play.
Yeah, that seems to be the general consensus, at least, from what Twitter seems to be saying. Big Gunner, Charles Watson put out a tweet yesterday basically saying, how would you approach these next three games? Are the eggs in the basket of Europa League or the eggs in the basket of the league? Or are you splitting the dozen eggs and 6 in one basket, 6 in the other? Or you're putting all 12 in one basket, taking them out of that basket, putting them in the next basket, and you just kind of keep doing it that way. I think Europa League is our best chance into Champions League, but we can't really give up on. I maintain we can't give up on the league on the Premier League right now. I think we need to, prioritize both really. So what do you think?
It's just this. It would be a very, very silly thing to do to concentrate on one thing right now because if we put all our eggs in the basket and just go for Europa League and then we lose in the next game, we could be 12th, 13th, 14th in the league, and if he does that, he has to seriously look at getting sacked because he's gone backwards from last season. So I think our squad is big enough to just do both, to be fair. Like we've got enough quality, or you would hope we have enough quality. I mean, based off what we've done for the rest of the season, it's not really a given that we should win these games. And what we've got coming up in the league is very, very tricky as well. But I think we've just got to go for everything because it just sets a bad tone if you're prioritizing one thing at this stage of the season and then you finish behind West Ham and Aston Villa and teams like that. It just doesn't look great. So I think we should just go for everything. I think we've got enough to go for everything.
So I think we might have at least our lineup anyway. And
yeah, Charles Watts just tweeted that it's going to be the same lineup against Leeds.
Okay.
it really is. It really is.
Know,
So let me bring it up here so everybody can see it.
Tweeted it. That's why I went ooh. By the way,
I figured that's why you did, because as soon as you did it, I laughed at you, and then I went and I checked the website. So it's not up on this. It's not up on the club website yet, but they're. You can't even really see that, can you?
Yeah, Watts just tweeted Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Saka behind Aubameyang. Same team that started against Leeds. I don't know if that means just them four or everybody else.
It's everybody. It's the exact same lineup as we put out against Leeds.
And where do you see? What is this?
That's the UEFA website that I just had up, and it's pretty hard to see. Unfortunately, I don't. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger.
Was that Louise and Gabrielle at the back, right?
Yep.
An hour and a half.
I'm not too displeased with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt. Yeah, go ahead. Dive in on that, Matt.
I think Gabriel's come back into his own again since he's come back. And Louise again, well, we said it so many times. It depends who you get with him, but he's been fairly solid, and I think he's been unfortunate with a couple of decisions against him. So I think we'll be okay with those two at the back, to be honest with you. Seeing Cedric at left back again, he's been really decent, apart from one slip up, against Villa.
Yeah,
he's been pretty solid at left back. I'm glad that we haven't rushed Kieran Tierney back. I'm pleased to see that.
Yeah, let me take a look here at does not look like he is in the team. He is listed as a sub. Ryan Hine, goalkeeper. Talk to me.
I wish it was. I always butcher his name. Okonkwo. I think he's such a good player. Hine's good. I don't hate Hine. I think he's going to be a good player for us. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really. I don't think it really matters who our backup is.
Well, he's the backup to the backup because Matt Ryan's in there as well.
Oh yeah, because Europa League, we have two goalies on the bench. But yeah, I mean, I like Hine. I think he has a future. Maybe even with us, who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I know him, and I'll just call him Arthur because his first name I know is Arthur.
There you go.
I know him and Arthur were training the first team, so it was always up in the air who was going to get that third, or I guess second goalie spot on the bench.
I'm gonna shorten it even more. I'm gonna call him Art. I just want to call him Art.
I don't know.
I just want to call him Art. Call him Art.
I mean, I don't know how much you watch Seinfeld, but it's like Art Vandelay. It's like an old white architect.
Exactly. It's kind of why it's funny. Big Gunner. Anything jump out to you? Anything surprising at all in the lineup that you see?
I mean, we just can't be surprised by anything Arteta does anymore. To be fair, I just worry that when I see David Luiz, like you just don't know what you're gonna get, and in a game that's a one-off, or it's not really a one-off, but there's two legs. There's just so much for him to get wrong, and it just worries me. And I think Holding and Gabriel, have been the best two this season, or potentially Mari has a shout for the 3 or 4 games he played as well, but. I don't know. You just assume because David Luiz has won stuff, he might be able to talk some of the players through. But can you take anything that he says serious, knowing that he's got a red card in him? I don't know. So
what's happened with Mari though? Because Mari, Holding and Mari were getting a really good run of games together, and suddenly Mari's just disappeared off the face of the earth.
There's rumours that if he plays another game, we have to give him £1 million, innit? So
that's not. I don't think that's
actually got her. Then fire everybody, because if that's why you're not playing, then fire everybody.
At this stage, there's just nothing. I don't put nothing past the way Arsenal's run at the moment.
Yeah.
Like you just can't put anything past them. I just don't trust anything they do, anything they say. Like anybody that thought giving Willian a 3-year contract for so much money. We just can't trust anything they do. So I don't know. Like at first, I was a bit skeptical, but the more it plays out, and based on his performances, you're a bit more skeptical. But I don't know. You should never know with Arsenal, do you?
Yeah,
You
right.
just hope that like I think it's a guy Top Techers in the chat saying let's hope for a repeat performance of the first hour that we had against Leeds. I'd agree with that.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Here.
Same team, why not?
Got to think so. Ryan, are you at all surprised that he didn't change anything?
See, yes and no. Yes, because I think there were some interchangeable pieces. Like I think Mari coming in would have been good. I think you could have gave Matt Ryan the start, although I don't believe in rest for goalies. And I think Pepe probably should have gotten the nod too. But again, we talked about it on multiple shows. You know, this pinwheel of death, as I call it. I think it needs to play a few games. I think it needs to kind of air out a little bit, get some exposure. Because I definitely think we will see it against Man City, barring any, knock on wood, any injuries. But it's just something that Arteta likes to do. He just persists with the same lineup week in, week out. He just plays strong, plays the same lineup. He almost plays it till he breaks it, which I don't necessarily agree with. But the lineup's working, and it did really well against Leeds. I know the score was 4-2, but I wasn't when they scored the 2 goals. I wasn't worried. I was like, the game's over. I was like, okay.
He's the only one that weren't worried, man. I was just like,
my butthole was fucking
I was not worried. I actually
we're the only team to ever
caught up. They caught up.
Yeah.
It was 4-2. I fell asleep. I was like, okay. I was like over the game. I was like, this game's over.
Let me do me a favor. Let me shout out my boy Troy here real quick. Thanks for jumping in here, man. Appreciate it. Maybe one day they can compete with Hull City. My boy Troy's he's a Hull supporter. Here in Pittsburgh, of all the places in the world to be, he's here in Pittsburgh. He chose Hull City to be his team. But yeah, right. Appreciate you watching, man. Thanks for being out there. So sorry, Ryan. Go ahead, finish your thought.
No, I mean that was really it. I will say the one thing I do really like is Chambers on the bench, and not that he's going to play, but I want to see more from him. I think we either can use him as a saleable asset and we could sell him for some money, or I think we could play him because when he was actually playing for us, he was one of our better defenders, and people seem to forget about it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's the center back for the future. I don't necessarily believe that, but I think he's great depth. I think he could be at that 3rd or 3rd or 4th spot for us. He can play in games like these. But yeah, I guess I'm a little also too, like I just now pulled up the subs. I'm a little, we talked about this so much to death. I don't really like it, but I'm a little upset that Eddie is on the bench and not Balogun. And I know the whole situation is just like complex in itself. But I don't know. I'm not an Eddie guy, and nor do I think it matters because I do think now with our pinwheel of death, I think you're going to see Aubameyang start, and or you're going to see Lacazette start, do all the hard work, and then Aubameyang's going to come on the 60th minute and just run past guys, run past tired legs. So it's just a matter of preference, and I think horses for courses, as they say. And, some days Lacazette might be the guy. Some days Aubameyang might be the guy. Some days Pepe might be the guy. I do want to see Holding play. I think maybe Holding might – and again, also we have 5 subs, so that's a big thing. And I think it depends on how the game goes because, me personally, I want to see Tierney. I want to see Holding. I want to see Pepe. I want to see Chambers. I want to see Pablo Mari. That's already 5. And then you have like someone like Elneny who you could bring on to like kind of shore up the defense, keep it structured. You're up. You kind of want to just see the game out. And you have someone like Martinelli who everyone's dying for, who I love. I don't think he's really adapted to the tactics yet of Arteta. Kind of we got when he got hooked at halftime for tactical reasons for Willian, no less. I do want
defensive duties, right? Yeah. Defensive duties for Willian, who doesn't actually run.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't really get. Like, I get yanking Martinelli off. I just don't get Willian on for him. That didn't really make sense. But yeah, again, that's like 7 guys I named that like I kind of want to see get minutes today. So it's going to be interesting to see how the game goes and how Arteta decides to do it. And also, too, let's not forget, for me, Arteta's Achilles heel, his biggest problem is his substitutions, and they're more times than not, they're not great. They don't really make sense. So let's hope we could, be up a few goals and kind of just not even have to worry about something like that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, because I was surprised to see Emil Smith-Rowe and Odegaard start today. I thought it might be one or the other given our game on the weekend. So I'm hoping that at least maybe give him the first half, hopefully be a couple of goals up, and then maybe give him a rest in the second half and bring someone else on to give him a bit of a rest. Because although I thought he looked a bit leggy against Villa, but actually he didn't look all that leggy against Leeds at all. So
who's that?
Emil Smith-Rowe.
Yeah.
I thought after the Villa game, I thought he needed a rest, but when you saw him against Leeds, he looked fine.
What are you laughing about?
Sorry. All right. I don't mean to interrupt you, Matt, but I read this tweet and I couldn't help myself.
Is this like an Arsenal freak show kind of thing?
Sort of, maybe. So there's other Europa League games going on, as you all know. So Grant Wall tweeted, "Young boys pounding Leverkusen at Wankoff 3-1 at halftime." I think that's a funny tweet. Yes, I'm perverted. Yes, I have a very perverted mind.
That's why he's laughing at it.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing at it.
All right. Big Gunner.
It was called Wankdorf. That's pretty. I mean, I'm sure I'm mispronunciating it, but
no, it's probably like Vankdorf or something like that. But anyway, Big Gunner.
Vankdorf, but I call it
so 5 subs. That's another thing to take into consideration here when we talk about the lineup, right? Because hopefully he, being Arteta, uses all 5 of these substitutes correctly, because at this point we're all hands on deck for the league as well. So got to take advantage of all 5 subs, right?
Yeah, nah, I don't agree with 5 subs. It's just It doesn't make it's. I think it's an English thing. We don't agree with 5 subs. I know
football purist.
Yeah, we don't agree with 5 subs. To me, it doesn't make sense. I mean, if I would allow the 4th sub if someone got like a serious injury and you had to make it, but
like the concussion subs, right?
Yeah, like when over here, as soon as you start making loads of subs, the game it loses it, doesn't it? Like it takes something away from the game. So
makes it difficult for lesser teams as well, because obviously, when you've got a bit more of a bigger squad and you've got 5, almost first 11 players on your bench, and then you've got lower mid-table, lower table teams trying to compete with that. It just it makes it very difficult.
You played Man City and then they've got 5, like they brought on Kevin De Bruyne yesterday, and like if you look at their 5 subs compared to everybody else's 5 subs, it's just going to be like night and day. So he won't make 5 subs today either, to be fair. So we know he won't. We'll probably see Willian come on at some stage to do his God. We'll see El Neni come on as well, and depending on if we're winning or losing, I reckon we'll see Tierney come on. I think if we're winning, he won't come on. If we're losing, I think he'll come on.
Yeah.
You said that for who?
For Tierney.
So you think if we're winning, he won't come on?
Yeah.
If we're losing, wow, interesting.
I think
I'd agree with that.
I think he's coming on regardless, because I think he needs to play against Man City, and I think Arteta knows that, and I think Arteta wants it from Man City. We need to get for instance, like KDB last night against Everton. He came on in the 80th minute because they're like, oh, well, we're going to use him against Arsenal on the weekend, so we need to give him something.
I just don't see how 10 minutes makes a difference. To be
I don't. 10 minutes I don't get.
You need at least 20.
Yeah, you bring on Tierney to me 65th, 70th minute, maybe 60 minutes, depending on how the game goes. But I think Tierney's definitely a shout.
I mean, looking at that team, we know Otamendi. He's got loads of mistakes in him. Vertonghen's getting old, but
too.
Yeah, he's still class. Tarabat as well used to play for Spurs and QPR, so we know he's actually a good technical player. But apart from that, I've never heard of anybody else in that team. So
apparently Grimaldo, I was reading that he's had 24 assists since the 19 season. Yeah, so that's not too bad of a return.
Wow,
Signing.
Julian Weigl was somebody that we were linked with for a while, a couple of years ago, and he was somebody that Arsenal fans wanted when we desperately needed we've always desperately needed a defensive midfielder, but he was someone that we were looking at and we were linked with. And I think he's all right. I think he's definitely gone down since we were linked with him. Definitely someone we can exploit, but he's a name for sure, and I think he's someone that could pose a threat to us. But again, I see Otamendi. I think okay, he's gonna give us a penalty somewhere. I feel like I'm already up 1-0, and I'm gonna eat my words. I'm sure because David Luiz or Granit Xhaka down the other end is gonna concede a penalty to one of them. So maybe it's 1-1. I don't know, but I for sure do not see a 0-0. That's for sure. There will be.
Oh no, there's goals in this game for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Matt, go ahead. I feel like you kind of had something else on your mind there.
No, just looking at the team, you know, we mentioned about Martinelli, and I just think like he's been really unlucky not to get minutes. I'd love to see. I know, and it's quite a popular opinion, but it's popular opinion for a reason, I think, and it'd be really good to see him get some minutes in the second half at least. You know, because he's frighteningly fast. And he's just such a threat. So I think he'd have some fun today.
He doesn't exactly mess around with the ball on his foot either, does he? He's very direct. He's very direct. Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
No. I'm just looking at that, and I'm just hoping that he gets some minutes today because I think we're all willing for that to happen. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can't see this being a massive hurdle. I think if we go out and we play like we did against Leeds, and we are as clinical as we were against Leeds, because typically, you know, before that we've created chances but not stuck them away. I think Wolves' first half was one of those examples. But I think if we go out and play like we did against Leeds, and we actually stick our chances away, I think we should have a fairly good time today.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, again, the home goals versus away goals, boy, just go out and put the whole thing to bed in the first half, and then you can kind of Big Gunner. I'm sorry, I keep putting comments up and it's blocking you. Sorry, it's blocking your face down there. But I totally just lost my train of thought there. Oh, hey, put the thing to bed in the first half. You know, the away goals. I don't know why UEFA's doing this, man. Just play.
Who cares? Why are we talking
straight up?
If it has to come down to away goals against Benfica, I'm sorry. Benfica, again, I'm not overlooking them. We should beat them. If we are looking at away goals, then obviously something's wrong with us. Like we need to kind of get our heads on straight. I get it. We're not a great team. We're in the Europa League. Maybe we are right now a Europa League quality team, but we should not have to worry about like this. Like everyone, because I've seen people on Twitter like, "Oh, this is away goal." I don't get it. Who cares? I don't care. We shouldn't. It will not. It should not be something that we have to worry about. At least for this fixture. But it is what it is. But
I think their threat. I think looking at this lineup and that, you know, the fact about Grimaldo getting something like 24 assists, and obviously Nunez is touted to be a pretty decent player. Although he's not scored a huge amount of goals, he's touted to be a pretty decent player. I think the threat will be Bellerin, and I think it will be Bellerin. As long as Bellerin's got his head screwed on and he doesn't leave us open again like he did previously. But I think that's the risk, is down that side potentially.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock in what we're seeing here, this graphic that I have up on the screen, because maybe they have it right for Benfica. That is absolutely not the way that this team is lining up.
Yeah,
so
isn't that going to be our striker? What's going on here? I don't like this at all.
Leno, we need to switch Leno with Bukayo Saka up there, because isn't Leno supposed to be playing? The formation here makes absolutely no sense. So I'm not putting any stock in that.
Or does it? Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Anyway, this Waldschmidt for Benfica as well. I would say he's Swiss or something. Waldschmidt, number 10.
He's German. Lots of German.
Sounds German.
It sounds German, but I think he's like Swiss or something.
He's definitely German.
But anyway,
he's German.
Anyway,
I've seen him play for national team.
You don't know. Shut up.
No, I do. I've seen him play. I've seen him play for the national team. He's German.
He is. I can confirm he is a German.
Yeah,
he is German. Okay, I thought I heard somebody say he was Swiss. But anyway, supposedly there's something to this guy as well. I don't know anything about him. Don't know his stats, but I've heard other folks talk about Waldschmidt being a guy to. I guess he and Nunez really kind of link up well together, almost playing as a 2 in the front instead of 1 with 1 behind. So not putting a whole
their
like
top scorer last season plays for Spurs now. So, and he doesn't even get on the pitch. So, I don't
Who
know.
was that?
What's his name? Vinicius.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Vinicius.
he came
Yeah,
from
right,
Benfica.
okay.
Yeah,
Not where I
their
thought he
top
came
striker.
from. Not at all
So-
where I thought that dude came from. So,
I mean, David Luiz used to play for them as well. So David Luiz might be feeling might concede a few own goals or something stupid.
oh
so,
God, just bite your tongue. Bite your tongue.
Stop now, please.
Listen,
Please.
it's okay. The balance is there. They have Otamendi. Everything is okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was feeling really good and really
We should
easy.
just play 10 men each. Just take out Luiz and Otamendi, and then might see a solid game.
I'm actually,
So, just to go through some scores here real quick for those that might be interested. Dynamo Kiev,
Bring it back. Bring up the young boys.
Club Bruges are level at 1. Olympiacos 3-2 over PSV. Young boys are no longer pounding Leverkusen. It's now 3-2.
Wow. Okay,
Krasnodar and Dynamo Zagreb are level at 1. Roma's beating Braga 1-0. Leicester, Slavia Praha are scoreless. AC Milan and I know it's Crvena Zvezda. I think it's Polish or something, but anyway, AC Milan are up 1-0. United are beating Sociedad 1-0. The Scum are beating Wolfsburg 3-0. So there you have updates on the scores. All of these games, with the exception of Club Brugge and Dynamo Kiev, all of these games are in the second half. So, and about looks like about anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes deep into the second half. So,
Leicester holding their own.
Yeah. What did I say? They were scoreless? No, they're up.
Yeah,
they're scoreless. Yeah. All of these matches are being played at neutral venues. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, so I have a question for you guys because something that I noticed. I've talked about it and I've noticed it. I noticed it in this lineup. I noticed it in a few. Reece Nelson is missing. He didn't play for the U23s against Man U like a week ago, and they play Man City. The U23s, anyways. The U23s play Man City tomorrow, so I'm curious to see if he's going to be in the lineup there. I don't think he belongs there. I think I rate him a little higher than probably the average Arsenal supporter. I think he offers something to this team that we could use and need. At least more than William, for fuck's sake. But I'm just curious as to where everybody here is at, and chat too. How you guys feel about Reece Nelson, and you guys are cool and okay with him just not even being in on the bench, or?
Yeah. I mean, I think the only reason why I would be like, what's going on is because just how Willian's playing. So if Willian's getting in the team or on the bench, surely Reece Nelson should get in there. But I mean, based on the performances that Nelson has had in the Europa League and the game where Martinelli got injured and he had to come in and start, he hasn't. I mean, he was up there with Sancho when they were kids, so they were basically on the same level. And one's gone crazy. I know Nelson had a loan in Germany and did well, but he hasn't. For me, he's just on the same level as Nketiah and Willock. To be fair, I think
he's not blown up, has he? He's not. He's not absolutely smashed it, has he?
Maybe
I don't think
another loan,
but I don't know. I think he offers us. To me, he just reminds me of like a pacier, stronger Iwobi. And people were kind of, at the time we had him, people were like, oh yeah, we like Iwobi. He has that directness about him, and he likes to get into the box. Granted, when he gets to the box, he can't even spell his own name, but he gets into the box, and we always had that problem of getting into the opponent's 18. And to me, I guess I disagree with you, Big Gunner, but I thought Reece Nelson was probably one of our best players in the Europa League group stages. I mean, him, Willock, and Pepe. Pepe was actually named the best player in the Europa League group stages. I know that's not a trophy that any Arsenal supporter wants to hang on their wall.
Like saying you're the skinniest fat kid.
No, or no.
I'd take it. I would take that.
Or that's like
I'm
saying,
a fat guy, so I can say that.
That's like saying, oh yeah, no. Yeah, you said we haven't won a trophy in over 5,000 days. No, we won the Audi Cup 2 years ago. I mean, I think we all know what team we're talking about here. But so again, I get that it's not something you want to tout about, but I think Nelson's just been really good in their group stages. And again, I know Mold, Dundalk, Vienna. I know, but it's just what he brings. And again, I know U23s. It's Premier League's a different animal. I totally understand that. But I just think he could be useful. I'm not saying he has to be in the starting 11. I'm outraged. I don't get it. But like to me, he offers something that no player, I would say, in the Arsenal squad has. Like he just has that such sharp turning, that sharp. I guess you could say maybe an ESR, but I think Nelson's got a shot on him, and Nelson's more of a goal scorer than ESR. Although again, and I said this last night on our podcast. Sorry, Tanner. I said this last night on our podcast. ESR has goals in him. He's again U23s, but he scored a lot in the U23s, and I think once the floodgates open, I think ESR is going to be one again. Pick me of death. He's going to be scoring some goals also.
The thing with Reece Nelson, I will agree with you. He has quickness, he has pace, and those are two things that can't be taught, and they are not the same thing. Quickness is different from pace.
He's very sharp with the ball too.
Quickness is your lateral movement. It's how quickly can you turn. Pace is just straight line. Go. Who's faster? But quickness is in tight areas. And he has that. So I don't know why Reece Nelson can't get a sniff in this team. We've talked about Mikel Arteta, and there are just certain players in this squad that he just doesn't rate. And I think Reece Nelson is one of them. Anybody else on Reece Nelson? I want to move on to the assembled question here real quick, but anybody else on Reece Nelson?
No, to be honest, I was just gonna add really something slightly different on that, but I was just gonna say I was more excited about Miguel Aziz. He looked really good when he came out, man.
Next year, he's going to be. If we make Europa, he's going to be playing in some games for us.
I really hope so, because I mean, he looks quality. He looks so comfortable on the ball. He just glides.
Yeah. He's also a deep line center mid, so he doesn't really play where Reece plays. So, but
more an Aaron Ramsey type.
I'm big on Aziz. I think he's going to be quite a good player for us going forward.
Yeah. So looking at the lineup, the assembled, do we believe Arsenal are prioritizing the Euro as to who's going to play on Sunday against City? These players will be pretty leggy come Sunday. So, Big Gunner, do you expect to see? I want to focus just on Europa League right now, but I mean, do you see this same 11 being named against City, or does he change it up again?
But then, if you say, I don't know, if you took out Odegaard or Emil Smith-Rowe and you put in Pepe or Lacazette, the team stays the same, like in terms of quality. So I don't think if we took two players out now, so say we took out Aubameyang and took out Odegaard, or took out Aubameyang and Emil Smith-Rowe and put in Lacazette and Pepe, that's not for me, it's not much of a downgrade based on how they've been playing recently. It's not even a downgrade. So
but Lacazette and Aubameyang, it's a like for like in terms of position, but it's not a like for like in terms of player, right?
No, not in terms of the type of player, but in terms of how they've been scoring recently.
Just quality.
And then again, if you take out some of the centre backs, Holding has probably been our best centre back this season. So if you put Holding in instead of one of the centre backs, it's still. So I think we're going to see quite a few changes. And then, like you're saying, probably Tierney comes in, so that automatically makes our team stronger anyway. So
right,
I think if we made 3 or 4 changes again on Sunday, I don't think it would make that much a difference. If anything, it probably makes our team a bit stronger.
Yeah, Matt, what say you on that?
Well, to me, just purely, I mean, you make a good point, to be fair, but I think looking at the lineup, it does appear that he's prioritised, because you've got both Emil Smith-Rowe and Odegaard starting together in the same lineup again. Saka's been playing a lot of minutes, and he's obviously playing today. So arguments he could be leggy against City if he was to play again. So it looks that way, but like you say, whether Arteta may actually have an eye on Lacazette starting against City rather than Aubameyang. You can swap out, for example, Pepe. So we've got options there, and like I say, it wouldn't necessarily make a massive impact on quality in some of those positions. So to me, it looks like he's prioritised it, but hopefully on Sunday we should have enough quality still to put up a good fight.
Yeah, Ryan, you and I kind of talked about this last night when we recorded the Goon review. There's still a fair amount of quality in this team in the places where we need it and where we need to really see some rotation. Is he prioritizing the Europa League with this lineup, and we're going to see something different on Sunday, or is this his best 11 and he's going to ride with this until he feels like he needs to make a change?
Again, it's really going to come down to this game. It depends. I think in an ideal world for him, I think he wants to probably take this lineup Sunday. Maybe switch in Holding, switch in Tierney. Me personally, it's tough because
Thomas Partey, if he can somehow get fit,
I don't think he's
going to either. But
I love this pinwheel of death, and I think it's fantastic, and I want to see it going forward. But in the same respect, I think somebody like a Pepe playing against Man City, I think he's just a maverick. I know, like, our pinwheel of death is chaos, and I talked about this on multiple podcasts. We need chaos. We need them. We need their back line to think, and we don't do that enough, even with the smaller teams. But I think Pepe is just so unpredictable. He's even unpredictable to himself, and I think he's someone that we could kind of bring in and plug in and kind of disrupt the Man City equation a little bit. And he has that in him to score that odd, crazy magical goal like he did against Wolves. Although I don't think it was odd. I think Wolves was just a bad team, but. I think that's something I'm curious about. But again, I think looking at our pinwheel of death, I think Pepe is someone that I want to bring on maybe like 60th minute against Man City. But again, I think it just depends. Like, in an ideal world, I want us to have a nice comfortable lead, like the 50th minute or even halftime 50. And then you kind of bring Holding on, get him some minutes, because I want Holding to start against Man City. No questions asked. I want Tierney to start against Man City, so I want to bring Tierney on as early as possible, get him some minutes, because to me, I don't want to throw in Tierney and Holding cold against Man City. Mm-hmm. And I know people are like, we don't have a chance. Man City is the best team in the Premier League. I get that, but we've beaten them. We've beaten them when they've been really good, and we beat them in the FA Cup when all hope was lost at that point for us. So I just really want us to try to give our best shot at Man City, because I think it's going to be, like you said, Tanner, it's going to be our measuring stick, because I do think that, we're starting to turn the corner and our players are starting to click and formations are starting to kind of make sense. Our tactics are starting to kind of make sense to everybody. So I think it's just a matter of, having the right personnel, having the best personnel available, and not just, again, like I said, throwing Tierney in, throwing Holding in cold, because we had a tough game against Benfica on Thursday, so we couldn't bring Tierney on because we were scared. We couldn't bring Holding on because we had to bring on maybe like an extra attacker or something like that.
Big Gunner, I want to come back to the 5 subs thing with you, because you're not a fan of it, and I understand why you're not a fan of it. Believe me, but with it at your disposal, would you take advantage of it to rotate players in, to give some players a rest, but rotate some players in maybe just to give them their legs back? Because there's also something to be said. You can certainly lose a bit of fitness, stamina from playing too much, but you can also lose it from not playing enough, right? I mean, Pepe now will have been on the bench and not played in. If he doesn't see any game action today, we're talking 2 weeks going into Sunday against Man City. So would you use the 5 subs, not only tactically, but would you use them in terms of fitness and trying to get some guys even back into the rotation a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I get the points, but I think it's that they're just highly trained athletes, aren't they? So I think I personally don't know. Like, we probably have to get a sports scientist on to let us know if it actually makes a difference. I don't see how it could. I mean, like I said, it would have to be 45 minutes to make sense, like for them to really get back into the swing of things. And then the other thing is, do you really want to risk it if you don't have to? Like, do you really want to risk bringing on Tierney and players that you want to play on the weekends just for some rubbish guy to do some stupid tackle on him and injure him? Like, at the end of the game against Leeds, 2 guys nearly broke Aubameyang twice. And it was just like, that's what could potentially happen when you're playing against lesser teams, that they can't keep up with your players and they just start taking them out. So do I really want to risk Tierney if we don't have to? Personally, I wouldn't, but I do understand the argument of giving them minutes. But I then think there has to be 45 minutes or I don't know if it makes any sense, to be fair. Like bringing someone, like so when they bring them on for 12 minutes, bring them on the 77th minute, like what's that going to do for anyone? Like, so I don't know, but I think we have enough to be leading 3-0 at halftime, 2-3-0 at halftime. Then you can think about it, and then for me, it makes sense. But anything after the 70th minute, please don't bring him on.
That's the thing, isn't it? It go in, smash and grab, get the game under wraps. Then you can start looking at resting players, second half, give a few people a go out, ready for Sunday. That's what you want to do in an ideal world, isn't it, really?
And it's not Premiership as well, so the sharpness is different. If it was a Premiership match, then I'll be like, okay, you want to get them up to the Premiership level and speed, but it's Europa League, so it's not even a Champions League. It's like Europa League, so I don't know if the sharpness is any different to playing under 23s. I don't know. We'll see.
I get what you're saying, but in the same respect, to me, game time is game time. Like that game day feel, that match day feel.
You know what? I think it works more for strikers because you could bring them on or attacking players and they get an assist or they get a goal and that automatically boosts their confidence. Like of Aubameyang, as soon as he got that goal, we was like, okay, this guy's going to start flying now, because automatically where he couldn't control the ball or he couldn't pass the ball, as soon as he got the goal, all of a sudden he's a completely different player. So for forward players, I think, it makes more sense. But in terms of defenders, like unless one of them gets injured, honestly, I don't want to see Tierney or Holding today. Just
do you want to see Tierney and Holding on Sunday though against Man City?
Yeah, because I think we can beat them. I don't know. I think Arsenal could beat everyone. To be fair, like I'm just that sort of person. But it's a game. It's a one-off game, so anything can happen. We've seen if anyone's going to beat anyone, it's going to be this season, just because of the way it has gone with COVID and other various factors. So if you're going to beat Man City or if you're going to beat Liverpool or whoever, you're going to beat them this season. So why not have the confidence and think you're going to beat them? My issue is that he's going to overcomplicate it. Like he did the last time we played Man City, he overcomplicated his tactics that he didn't need to do. Like, just play the way you've been playing. Just keep it the same. But I'm confident. I think we'll beat him.
It's like you say, anything can happen. He knows City well. Obviously, having been there for quite some time, with Pep. And, but like I say, this season's been so topsy-turvy in how it's played out. We've actually done all right against, the bigger sides this year, bar a couple of unlucky decisions and whatever. We've actually done better than we usually do.
Yeah.
We tend, under Arteta, we have tended to do better against the bigger sides. So we'll compete, but it's just, obviously City at the moment with the form they're on, it's going to be very, very tough. I can't see us winning that game personally, but I think we'll put up a good fight. I don't think we'll get demolished, or I'm going to shrink after the game on the weekend. I'll put my neck on the line there, but I don't think we'll get demolished. I
agree with Ryan. I think Pepe is. I think he's the key man for me personally. He's the key man because it was. Who reminds me of Gervinho. When Gervinho used to play, he didn't know what he was going to do, so the defenders didn't know what he was going to do. So you can't defend against. It was the same with Iwobi.
He was a funny player.
He would run through the whole team.
He's so unhinged. Nobody knows what he's doing.
So I think I get that with Pepe a bit, except that Pepe could put one in the top corner at the end. But again,
he's hitting his stride, though, isn't he?
He's so unpredictable. But that's what he's saying. You need that someone with a bit of chaos that can cause chaos as well. But the only thing that worries me is the way Man City have been defending recently.
And it just sucks too, because I think Pepe is playing well and I want him to play, but who do you take out? Do you take Saka out? No. Do you take Aubameyang out? I mean, maybe. I think Aubameyang kind of unbalances us, but until I saw him against Leeds in this lineup, I don't know now. Now I'm questioning that. I think Aubameyang can kind of do bits with Odegaard and ESR. And then, then do you take off ESR? Do you take off Odegaard? ESR has been the person that kind of jump-started us, kind of gave us a new life. And then you have Odegaard, who I know we talked about since same old Arsenal, and I agree with Sam the Man. I think Odegaard is something special. I think he's going to be a really good player for us. Yeah. And we kind of need to get him like as many minutes as we possibly can now, because the loan is so short. And I do think we're going to at least make an attempt to buy him, unless he obviously pulls a Dennis Suarez. I think we will make an attempt to buy him. So I think it's just like getting him the minutes, getting him, accustomed to the club, instilling him in a culture and all of that good stuff. So I think we need to play him as much as possible. And that was, again, one of the reasons why he wanted to come here. He wanted minutes. He just wants first team football. That's it. So
he's gonna get it here. I can tell you that.
He's quality though, because that last
really
game.
is.
Sorry, there were just moments in that game where I watched him, and although he didn't get a huge amount of the ball, I don't think, and I don't think he got enough credit after that game. But actually, the touches he had, it was just oozed quality. You could tell he had that Real Madrid kind of technical ability on the ball. He just looked so comfortable. He could turn, lose a player. He waited to the right moment to pick his pass. Didn't rush anything. Good vision. I thought he was excellent. To be honest, I think he'll be a really good player for us. And I think, like Ryan said, we should go for him if we can.
You can see the quality in him even off the ball. You can just see it if you know what you're looking for. If you know what you're watching, you can see the quality in Odegaard, and that's. When you watch him off the ball, when you watch any player off the ball, I think that's really that is the telltale sign of the quality of a footballer is what they do off the ball. Getting into space, drawing defenders with them, making themselves available, for a pass here or there, whatever the case may be. So if I'm, hey, Arsenal, if you're watching this right now, 45 million pounds, put the offer in right now, right? 45 million right now. Put the offer in. I guarantee you Real Madrid take it. Guaranteed.
I about just put in a nice even 50 and give us Ceballos because you like us so much. Not that I rate Ceballos, but 50 million for both of them, or even 60,
we gotta try to keep. We gotta try to keep this wage bill under control though too. We still need to go get Yves Bissouma from.
It's a bit crazy from Brighton, because the whole Ceballos situation. I think with Ceballos, you're not going to ever see the best of Ceballos unless he's playing with Thomas Partey. Because if he's playing with Xhaka, he has too much to worry about. Right. Like anybody playing with Xhaka has too much to worry about. I mean, against Leeds, it played into our hands that Ceballos could get forward and play on the counter. But I don't think we're ever going to see the best of Ceballos unless he's playing with Partey. And Partey can't even string 2 games together. So I don't think we'll ever see the best of Dani Ceballos. And to address the assembled, Aubameyang doesn't really show up against the top 6. I think I disagree with that one, just because I think he was like the third. I think apart from Harry Kane and Jamie Vardy, I think it was last season, Aubameyang had the most against the traditional top 6 teams. So not quite sure, including the 2 against Chelsea and Man City. And
I was going to say he scored 4 goals against the top 6.
Yeah. When it really counted, there was a trophy on the line.
Yeah.
And he dropped the trophy as well. So
yeah. I love that interview that he did like later in the summer. After that was like he was like whoever it was told him to leave the base. He's like, I heard take the base. That was tremendous. I love seeing stuff like that. I mean, that was great. Look, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at, right?
Yeah. True.
So, gents, we're at about 7 minutes here, and then we got to start our walk up to the stadium. And tailgate. It's tailgate is a wholly American thing, right? You guys over there, you don't really. I mean, I've been over there and I've been to games. You guys don't. The tailgate thing just doesn't exist, and mostly because there aren't any parking lots for crying out loud around these stadiums, right?
What's a tailgate? Am I completely lost here? What's a tailgate?
You should probably explain the definition of tailgate before you say anything.
All right, Big Brother, do you know what tailgate is?
No, we don't.
No. Okay, all right. So here in America.
Oh, this is awkward. I love it.
So here in America, the thing to do for American football games is you show up at the stadium. Ryan, what would you say?
Any American sport.
Nah, I've never really seen it for anything.
Oh, I tailgate for hockey. Oh, hockey. Ooh.
See, I've seen it. I've seen it, but not to the degree that you see it for American football.
Yeah.
American football. So what you do is you show up at the stadium. This goes for both professional, the NFL, but we also have collegiate football, American football. So that's big time because those stadiums are bigger than the pro stadiums. The biggest stadium in this country is Michigan Stadium for the University of Michigan, and it holds 113,000 people.
Wow!
So yeah,
the collegiate level. Wow, that's
and it's full, Wow. Like every week, it's full. So I can't remember. There was the International Champions Cup when they were over here. Somebody played there and they sold out. They sold that stadium out. It was like Madrid and I can't remember. They sold it out though, so it was pretty impressive.
I was good. Thank you. I was just gonna say that he's off on his own.
Has he explained it? Have I missed it?
Football and Michigan and
4 or 5 hours prior to the game kicking off, you show up at the stadium and you park your car. There's parking lots all around all of our stadiums. So you park your car in the parking lot and you pop the boot, as it were, or the hatch on the back, whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody sets up, tents, grills. I mean, awesome. These are big deals over here, especially at the collegiate level. There are people that show up in RVs to do this, but you show up with an entire setup where all you do is cook, drink, you play games. Cornhole. If you guys, but you know what beer pong is, right?
Games.
Okay, so you play beer pong. Cornhole. I assume you don't know what cornhole is because that's a very so you get 2 boards. You've got one board up here, you've got one board back here. You have bean bags, and there's a hole in the board, and you toss bean bags towards the board. If it lands on the board, you get a point. If it goes in the hole, you get 3 points. But the points cancel each other out. So if you so the team you're playing against,
it's about tailgating, not cornhole.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, anyway,
cornhole. What are we doing?
It sounds amazing, though. It sounds like my kind of sport.
It absolutely is. Look, it's a drinking game. At the end of the day, it's a drinking game.
We get there about 45 minutes before kickoff,
right?
And just try get in and get out. You probably can't park within 2, 3, 4 mile radius of any stadium. Like especially in London, you have to get a cab to the station. You can't.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the Emirates. I mean, I when I was living in London, I was lucky enough I could walk to the Emirates from my house. So
really,
I didn't need to. So I lived in between the Emirates and White Hart Lane, so I could walk to either.
So like Finsbury Park area.
Yeah. So just before Finsbury Park. So there's none of that tailgating business. You probably have people fighting, to be fair, because if that was like Chelsea
drinking,
you do. Yeah. Trust me, when you
wouldn't even need drink involved if it was like Spurs versus Chelsea or Chelsea versus West Ham. They would people's cars would be getting blown up and stuff.
Well, that's why they keep the away fans segregated inside the stadium.
So it's funny. So in America, especially obviously because hockey, I talk about all the time. There's I'm from New York, so there's just 2 New York teams. So you have the New York Rangers, you have the New York Islanders. The amount of times I've seen, because obviously you have fans from the same area, so they're all going to come. It's sometimes the Islanders will be home technically, but there's more Ranger fans because it's just that so many people supporting both teams. Fights are it's a thing. You have wars. It gets crazy. Beers being thrown across the parking lot. That's also a good thing, George. Good job. But it could get really wild. And like you said too, for some of these rivalries in the Premier League, I don't even think you need drugs or alcohol. So.
Yeah. So tailgating is a big thing over here. And then about 45 minutes, like you said, walking up to the stadium, it's probably about 45 minutes to a half hour. You clean everything up.
Maybe drink some water because you're wasted. You're gonna black out.
You definitely gotta hit the water. Screw that. He just doesn't do it right. So you pay yourself.
I go. I want to somewhat remember the game. I have friends that go. They just want to. I have friends that go to games. They just want to tailgate, so they'll just get blackout drunk, and they'll be like, "Okay, I'm blackout, so I'm going to go to the game and just nap while the game's going on." I want to watch the game.
I will go. So I am not. I live in Pittsburgh. I am not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan in the NFL. I will go if I get invited to a tailgate. I'll go to the tailgate just because they're a good time. It's just a party. It's what it is. It's just an outdoor party where you just happen to be partying before a sporting event. That's what it. So that's what a tailgate is. You just, like I said, you bring your own food, your own. And I've been to the Emirates. It's fantastic. It's the tailgating. What I would call the tailgating over there is just much different. I typically start. Now I get an Airbnb right by the stadium. So I'm in the neighborhood already, but I start my day easily 4 or 5 hours before kickoff. I go down to the Tollington. I have a few up there, and then I just make my way back up to the stadium and hit Hornsey Road. There's a place there. It was called the Howling Cow and the Fat Bird, I think. But he had like salt beef sandwiches in there. Oh, they were tremendous. If you're ever over,
the salt beef sandwiches,
yeah.
And then
like right,
Finsbury Park, the bagel shop in Finsbury Park as well. That was like you had to go to the bagel shop before the game. That was just like give you good luck if you had a bagel before the match. But yeah, well, it's not that fun. We just want to get in and out, man. Especially the way Arsenal been playing. You just want to just get out, just go home.
You had to go to Piebury Corner though. Get
a
decent pie at Piebury Corner.
I've been to both. I've been to both actually. The one up in King's Cross and the one that's up on Holloway Road. I've been to both. So,
big shout out to those guys because they are good.
Yeah, absolutely, big shout out to those guys. Fabrice Nazon, the NFL team I support. I am a New England Patriots fan. So, yeah, shut up. Being from Jersey, New York Jets tailgate. He's really gonna, or he's really Fabrice. I don't. Looks like you're a guy. Okay. You never know.
It's like you're a guy. It's good. You never know. Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like with New York teams, like as of right now, there's like really. I mean, you have the Yankees, I guess, for baseball, but like really, all the New York teams for now are really bad. I guess Islanders are getting there, but like, so all that matters is the tailgate. Like that's what you look forward to. And then once the tailgate's over, you're like, I guess I'm gonna watch my team lose and get like the shit kicked out of them. So to me, the game's not even fun. The game's just like, I'm going to watch my team get massacred. So I'm all about the tailgate.
The NFL over here, in all honesty, is more about the tailgate anymore than it is the actual game. Seriously, like people put more effort into going into the tailgate than they do actually going into the game. The NFL is a game, a sport that is. It is meant for television at this point.
There's also something you did. There's something you did not mention. There are a lot of people that tailgate, and then when the game starts, they keep on tailgating. They'll put the game on. They'll bring a flat screen TV. They'll put it in their truck, and they'll play the game at the stadium, and they'll just continue to tailgate in the parking lot. That's the thing. That's the thing.
They'll bring a generator for power.
Yeah,
and they'll just bring a TV and they'll set that. And I've seen guys with setups like in the back of their pickup truck where it's a whole setup to just keep the TV in the truck. So they bring the generator when the game starts. They just pull it out. They flip the generator on, flip the TV on, and they just keep going. They just stay out there. They don't even go into the game.
That's a whole new level.
Yeah, so, gentlemen, that's a tailgate.
Love it.
Speaking of, it is. It's about a half hour to kick off.
15 minutes of my life. That was the best 15 minutes of my life. The tailgate story.
Words I've never heard in my life.
Tailgating is fun though.
Tailgating is fun. If you guys ever get over here, I don't know if either of you support an NFL team. That's really where you're going to see a tail. Like if you're a baseball fan of basketball,
could go to any.
I haven't watched a lot of American football, but I did have a Jets jersey, I think. So it'd probably be my team.
Sorry.
If you ever get over here, highly recommend trying to get yourself to a tailgate. It's a good time, and the food is fantastic. I mean, it's just people just make food at home, put it in a cooler, bring it with them, reheat it on the grill, whatever. But it's always like. Everybody for a tailgate makes whatever it is that they make best. So like the thing I always make for tailgates are sliders, which are like little mini cheeseburgers and chili. Like if I ever get invited to a tailgate by friends of mine who are Steelers fans, are like, you're going to make your chili, right? Like, I guess I am now. So, all right, gentlemen, let's go rapid fire real quick around the horn here. Matt, I'm going to start with you. Prediction for today.
3-1
to the Arsenal.
3-1 to the Arsenal, yeah.
Ryan?
I'm gonna say 3-0 to the Arsenal.
Big Gunner?
I'm gonna say 3-1 Arsenal. Aubameyang to score 2, David Luiz to score a bicycle kick own goal.
That sounds about right. Can I change to 3-1 too? Because I like that too.
Wow.
Otamendi to score a back your own goal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to make it fun.
I'm going to be a little more generous. I think there are going to be some goals scored in this one. I'm going 4-2 to the Arsenal. Actually,
I was thinking that, but I don't like back to back because we beat Leeds 4-2. I don't want to. I wanted to do that, but
I mean, I would love to see 4-0 or 5-0. I would absolutely love just put this thing to bed right away. I mean, I'm talking the whole tie. So not just today's game, the whole thing, put it to bed. So, all right,
Mike's got William down for scoring today. That's an interesting
I was going to say,
that's got to be a joke.
Put Mike down right here.
Maybe
you heard it here first. My spirit animal, William scores.
Yep, if he scores, Mike, we're coming back on you, bro. So,
Mike, if he scores, I'm going to dress him as a cheetah for the next game with Arsenal. So, just for you, buddy.
Can you keep your guys' furry fetish out of the shows, please? Just keep that on the sidelines. All right, I want to thank Matt from AFC Red Room. Matt, go ahead and shout yourself out, man. Where can people find you?
Twitter, AFC Red Room, YouTube channel, exactly the same name, AFC Red Room, all one word. But thanks for having me on, Tanner. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Great stuff. We'll be doing it again soon. Ryan, shout yourself out real quick.
Arse Bros Ryan, check me on Twitter. I love talking to people. It's fun. I should be on the Friday Our Show with Mike Scunny, previewing our game against Man City. Probably, I think we're going to be talking about Benfica because I just found out that we're going to have Boston Mike on, the Boston Gooner himself. He's actually a big Benfica fan, so I'm curious how he feels about this game. So we're going to talk to him about the game, and it should be a good time. And I hope I'm on it because I work like an hour or two before the show starts. So I hope I get home in time.
Big Gunner, go ahead, man. Same thing. Shout yourself out there.
I just want to give a quick story. Yeah. My original name was actually the Bearded Gunner. So, but you've got Gooner, I've got Gunner. But then when I saw yours, I was like, I don't want everyone to start thinking because I only started in November, and that was the original name that I had gone for. So I started Googling all these names, and then when I saw the Bearded Gooner, I was like, I can't do it. It's just gonna look like I've copied him. So I've gone for I went for Big Gunner. So yeah, on all the social medias, I'm Big Gunner TV. So Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, it's just Big Gunner TV.
I'll tell you a quick story about that. So there's actually Bo and his nan over in England. The club actually during the FA Cup run last year was where they were doing like fan video watch along. So they set up a camera in people's houses and just took highlights from them. So guy's name is Bo, and he's the Bearded Gooner on Twitter. Neither of us knew this, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he messages me and he says, "Hey, nice name." And I'm like, his beard is much more spectacular than mine. So I kind of feel bad that I've got the thing going here, but he's been pretty good about it. In fact, if he checks this out, Bo, I got to get you on here, man. I'm waiting. We'll talk soon, I hope. So, all right, that's it. Prediction for me. I gave the prediction 4-2, right? Didn't I? Boy, my head's all over the place.
No one cares. It's fine.
Yeah, nobody cares. That's right. We're out of here. We got to clean up and start walking up to the stadium. So thanks everybody for watching. We're going to be doing this a lot more consistently. I'm hoping that I can continue this before every match. So roughly an hour and a half before every match. Then we'll knock off roughly a half hour before. Thank you everybody for watching. We are going to get out of here. That's it for us. Come on, you Gunners.
Come on, us.